Hello and welcome to Bloodhouse, the show where we talk about art house horror movies. I'm your host, Joshua Conkle.
And I am your satanic co-hostess, Drusilla Adeline. Welcome to another episode.
Huzzah! How are you?
Huzzah. I'm feeling kind of shitty. Pretty
Same.
hardcore shitty. I think we're both feeling shitty for different reasons, but also similar reasons.
Yeah.
What's going on in Joshland?
I won't get too far into it. I'll probably have to talk about it at some point, but my mom is ill, so I'm leaving for Washington first thing in the morning, which is where I grew up. So yeah, that's going on. It's very stressful, and I haven't really dealt with this before. But yeah, it's sort of taken over my life the past week. It's very sudden and really difficult. And so my screening of my film is at Outfest tonight, and then I'm leaving at 7:30 in the morning tomorrow to go up to Washington because my mom was like, don't miss your screening, of course.
She's too fucking nice.
Yeah, she's very nice.
I love your mother. Oh my God.
Yeah, the sweetest. But I've been looking for some comfort, and so I have an interesting watch that is relevant to today's movie because for a bit of comfort, I've been watching the new Project Runway All-Stars season, which I've been watching for 20 years since season 1. And because it's All-Stars, there's 2 competitors this season that were on season 1. So I decided to go back and start watching Project Runway over again from season 1. So I've been watching like a season of Project Runway every day. So it's really interesting to go back because, first of all, it's in standard definition and in square format because it's that old. It's 20 years old this year, or next year, rather. And in my memory, Project Runway is the classy reality show. But when you go back, well, yeah, because it felt classy compared, and that's the point. Like when you go back though, it's very mean-spirited and very trashy in the beginning, and I can see how compared to the other things at the time, like America's Next Top Model, really ugly shows like the Swan, Project Runway felt like PBS compared to those things, but the show is so classy now that it's sort of weird to go back and watch it. It's such an indicator of how mean-spirited the early 2000s were. Like, there's all these things that I forgot. Like, they choose the models PE style. So there's always, like, one model who doesn't get chosen and has to go home. They show the contestants, like, going out at night and getting drunk and partying, which they would never do now. Like, one of the contestants hits his head and has to go to the hospital at 2:30 in the morning while he's drunk. And, like, none of this would happen now. There's 2 incidents in the first season where models don't show up for the runway, and so the designer has to go out into the street of Manhattan and try to find a model themselves. Like, none of this would ever happen now, and I just forgot how much television was like that.
Yeah.
And also in 2004, when season 1 happened, nobody had ever heard of Fashion Week. That was like an industry thing that consumers didn't know about. And that's been completely taken over by consumers because of Project Runway. And it's like completely changed the world of fashion and reality television. And it just is so interesting to go back to that time because it plays so differently now. And another thing that people reminded me of was, the biggest reality show now is Drag Race, RuPaul's Drag Race. And I had kind of forgotten that Drag Race started in part as a satire of Project Runway. You know what I mean? It was like drag queens making fun of the format of Project Runway. And so, I don't know, it's just like a time capsule of the early 2000s. And it had me thinking about the horror movies of that era and how mean-spirited they were as well. It was just, and George Bush and, torture. And like, it was just like such a mean-spirited, materialistic era.
I was doing some research into exactly the same era of reality TV of like 2004, 2006, because it's outrageously mean and super fucking weird.
Yeah.
And there's so many shows that like have been entirely forgotten about that you look back now and you're like, they did that?
The
like
Swan.
The Swan is a great example. But on the same note as The Swan, there was a show in England that came out in 2004 called There's Something About Miriam.
Oh, really? I don't remember.
Do you know
this.
what this is?
No.
Okay. So this was a reality dating show in 2004. It ran for 2 seasons in England. It's called There's Something About Miriam. They get like a bunch of like hunky dudes to go on this dating show, and they have to go on dates with Miriam and try and like and see who's gonna be
feel where this
to
is
like
going.
be the one that she's gonna fall for. And then at the very final episode, she reveals that she's trans.
Oh, I knew it. I knew that
Yeah.
that was the reveal. Yikes.
And it is horrendous. It is so mean. And of course, like, throughout the whole show, they're doing, like, all the little pull asides. They're being like, hey, dudes, what do you think about, like, this idea? And things like this. And they're like, oh, that's fucking terrible.
Yikes.
And so, of course, like, when it comes, it's horrendous. That woman, unfortunately, like, took her own life, like, a few years ago.
How awful.
Like, the British tabloids did not treat her well. I mean, think about, like, even now, all the people that go on, like, Love Island that have committed suicide. Like,
yeah.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah. I mean, British tabloids, first of all, are so savage. Like, far more savage than anything in the United States.
The, Errol Morris documentary, Tabloid, is a really good look. I
love that documentary.
I love Tabloid.
God, it's so good. It's demented.
Yeah, it's so
absolutely
good.
Demented. Yeah, in case anyone doesn't remember The Swan, and you like really can't find this anywhere, it's been like completely erased from existence because it truly is awful. But it ran for multiple seasons. It was a show where, quote unquote, ugly women all had extreme plastic surgery while being isolated from the other contestants in the rest of the world. They are like living in apartments where there were no mirrors, so they couldn't see themselves. They undergo multiple plastic surgeries, and then they're forced to compete in a beauty pageant against one another. It's awful. I also remember another show, I think it was called Boy Meets Boy, which was like the first gay dating show, and it was sort of like The Bachelor, except it was all men. But the trick that the gay bachelor doesn't know is that some of the men are straight and trying to get the guy to like them. And if a straight guy won the bachelor's heart at the end of the series, they won like $100,000 or whatever. So it's like straight men trying to trick a gay man into thinking that they like him. Just like so savage. And then you think about the horror movies of the time, like Saw and Hostel, and even some of them that I really like the remake of Hills Have Eyes is so savage. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, like, it was such a savage time.
Yeah, I mean, there's great horror films in that era.
Yeah.
I love the House of Wax remake from that era, but the movie's also
I love that movie.
Mean and brutal.
Yeah,
and takes a reality TV star and takes pleasure in watching Paris Hilton get fucking murdered.
Yeah, I mean, the tagline was "See Paris Die."
Yeah.
What a weird time. What a weird time to go back to.
What a time. Well, speaking of 2004 through 2006 and that era and things that are currently bumming me the fuck out.
Ugh.
So my favorite like living band just broke up yesterday.
Oh no.
The band is Anti-Flag, who was very big. Well, as big as you can get in like smaller pop punk and political punk realms in that era. Yeah. Continue to put out albums after that era. Like, they formed in the 90s, got big post Green Day's revival in the mid 2000s, and then have like formed their own record label and like been doing their own stuff for the past like 15, 20 years. Kicking ass, great. I was hired to work with them a few months ago on something, and then I got an email yesterday from my contact being like, hey, I'm sure you're really disappointed, like, I'm here if you have any questions about what's going on. And I was like, what do you mean what's going on? Like, assuming that like my stuff got killed. Instead, I got a link to a podcast in which a woman has come forward accusing Justin Sane, the guitarist and lead singer, of rape allegations.
Oh no.
And the band put out like a note somewhere being like, we've like not acknowledging anything, but just being like, we've disbanded and we've gotten rid of everything, bye. And like all of their socials like disappeared.
Yikes.
And I've heard from people that are connected to people in the band that they had no idea. They had no idea that he made this announcement that the band was just over, and they can't get a hold of him.
Oh my gosh.
It's super fucking scary, and it's such a fucking bummer that this like outrage, like they're like the biggest political, the most like commie left wing, like vegan straight edge like band out there, and they've been like the mainstay of everything that I do for the past 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like my most listened to band, the band I've seen the most in concert. Getting the opportunity to work with them recently was like, holy shit, oh my god, fuck yeah. And then to have all of that taken away because one fucking man has to abuse his fucking power in the worst, most heinous way, and also sell out all of his ideals that he's been like propagating for the past 20 plus years. It's fucking repugnant, and I hate it so goddamn much. And also the podcast included in that was like an interview with a woman who's making these allegations. She was talking about how like, despite, you know, purportedly being like a straight edge punk, was like taking her out to a bar to get her drunk. And I was like, oh, that's
Yikes.
really like
Ugh.
now questions like the whole identity and intent behind like the music you make, you fucker.
Yikes.
How fucking dare you? Super evil snake in the grass kind of shit. And I feel horrible for the women involved. I feel horrible for the other people in the band and at their record company. Because they formed their own record label. Like, that all of these smaller indie bands are on now. Like, all of their livelihoods and stuff is now in jeopardy. Because of one fucking piece of shit.
Absolutely. I always think about that. Like, I remember when Roseanne went insane and, you know, the remount was on television. And, of course, it got to come back as the Connors, but we didn't know that at the time. And I was like, there are, like, hundreds of people whose livelihood depends on you. Like, shut your mouth and get off Twitter. Like, it's free to just shut up. Shutting up is always an option. You know, and I know that I'm bad at that as a person, but I'm not responsible for 200 people's livelihoods either. So, you know, it's the same thing with J.K. Rowling. If I had her money and platform, you would not be able to wrestle a political opinion out of me. I would be, you know what I mean? Like, you know who does it right is Enya. Enya is like one of the wealthiest women in the UK. She lives in a castle in the middle of nowhere. No one ever sees her or hears from her. She just walks around a castle singing little songs to herself and speaking in Elvish. And that's the way. That's how I would play it.
Jesus. Yeah, that's the move, is you just like separate yourself from the world and be like, okay, or you fucking put your money where your mouth is and actively like try to help people, which is the worst thing is when you're like putting out that view of yourself and then you're also doing monstrous bullshit. Like, that's fucking heinous and horrendous. Like, no, go to hell.
I just feel like the more sanctimonious you are as a public individual, the more likely it is that you will be proven to be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Which is not to say you shouldn't do good deeds and publicly advocate for things that you care about, but if you're going to make scolding people your whole personality, you better make sure that your shit is squeaky clean.
Yeah. Like, my fucking god. It's so goddamn upsetting.
It's awful.
Like, we all have shit, but you don't need to be fucking raping people, you fucking piece of shit!
It's awful.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Awful. Sorry to that
Awful.
woman, and sorry for the fans of that band who've now like lost a band, and all the people on that label, and it's horrible.
Yeah. Literally, while I was working on the project, I was having to look through like photos of them and was listening to all their music and stuff like that. And it was like, woo, I love them so much. This kicks so much ass. I've loved them for so long. Maybe I finally get the one band tattoo because this is the most squeaky clean band I could ever get. And I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I didn't.
And it happens so often, right? It's such a boring story by now because it happened to Burger Records, which is that punk label from the 2010s. It happened to the Beach Goth Festival because of the Growlers. It happens in these punk scenes all the time, and it's like so boring.
I mean, the
and
classic
annoying.
joke is like pop punk guy in his fucking 30s and 40s, like going after 16 and 17-year-olds. Like,
Yeah.
It's basically if you've ever played Warped Tour. Everyone's suspicious of you.
Yeah. And rightfully
Jesus.
so, I think, at this point.
And rightfully so. Speaking of men who are too old to be doing shit,
This better not be about me.
no, this is about me going to the movies.
Okay.
I saw new releases for the first time in a while.
Oh, okay.
I saw 2 new movies that both star old men in franchises doing loud things.
Okay.
One of them was very, very good. The other was very, very bad.
All right,
I saw
hit me.
Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, M- Part 1.
Oh, God. Okay.
And then I saw Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Okay, which one is bad and which one is good?
Oh, Indiana Jones is fucking terrible.
Oh, no.
It's real bad.
Yikes.
It's real bad. Mission Impossible was a fucking blast. You know what, Tom Cruise, I don't
He's a movie
support
star.
as an individual, as a person. But those Mission Impossible movies are fucking fun.
I've never seen any of them.
They're really fun. You haven't seen the De Palma one from the 90s?
No.
I feel like everyone saw that.
I
Like
maybe
everyone
did
in
and I forgot about it, but I
Everyone's
don't.
like parents had that VHS and it always played on TV. They're good.
Mm-hmm.
My like worst opinion is the Mission Impossible movies are good and fun. And Tom Cruise is just a 60-year-old man who wants to die on screen because he wants to live the
He does his own
Arabato
stunts,
fantasy where if you die on screen, you're captured in celluloid and will live forever. I'm genuinely convinced that this is his worldview, and let him do it. He does some insane shit. The big stunt for this movie that's been advertising is this kind of motorcycle stunt. However, it is then immediately followed and topped by a train crash derailment thing that is fucking sane. And I cannot recommend it highly enough. And it has such an incredible supporting cast. Carrie fucking Elways is in it for some reason.
Love that.
Love that. Love that man. He's having a moment. Carrie Elways has been in 3 big movies this year. Let's continue this trend into 2024, 2025. Let's keep Carrie employed.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, on the other hand, just leave Harrison Ford alone.
Yeah.
Please,
just
leave him alone.
I do love how grumpy he is on press tours in his old age. Like, he's like, he has the snarkiest answer to people's questions and like so clearly doesn't want to be there. And so that part of it is like sort of delightful to me. But
that is great. But then when they have him de-aged, and it's supposed to be him 30 years ago, and like beating up Nazis, like de-aged down, and then his voice is like grumbly 80-year-old Harrison Ford again. You're like, oh no, oh no.
I have an
It's
Indiana
like the
Jones.
Irishman all over again.
Totally is. I have an Indiana Jones, I think, hot take, because I don't really know that much about the fandom of Indiana Jones, but I think my hot take is not the common take, which is that I just watched all of the old movies on airplanes while traveling this summer, and I hadn't seen them since they came out, since I was a little kid, and I think far and away Temple of Doom is the best one. By
that was my
lots.
favorite as a kid.
Me too.
Loved that one
and
as a
it's
kid.
still my favorite. It's so fun. It's so
And
much
it's
campier.
so racist.
It's very racist.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Do you just like it because the people who made Messiah of Evil wrote it?
No, but that doesn't hurt. It just has more panache. It's campier. It's faster. It's got more style.
It's got 150% more Dan Aykroyd.
It does have more Dan Aykroyd. That's true. I love the setting of like the cult and the the hidden temple. I love India as much as it is a bit racist and orientalist. Like that palace stuff is so fun.
I love all of the stuff with the minor carts. Oh, the opening's fucking incredible.
The opening of the Mandarin Anything Goes with Kate Capshaw is so good. It's just so good. It's so stylish. And
the ice bucket bit at the beginning too.
With the diamond.
So yeah.
Loved it all. I love Short Round. Love him from
He's
Everything
the
Everywhere.
best.
Yeah. So good. Yeah. I loved it. I love Temple of Doom.
When I watched those movies as a kid, I had to like run out of the room during Raiders of the Lost Ark multiple times because I was like, "Oh no, a skeleton! Oh no, melty faces!" I was so scared.
It is scary.
So when we watched Temple of Doom for the first time, I was so scared because I was like, "Doom? That's even scarier of a name. This is gonna be scarier." And then I was like, "Oh, it's not." And like, sure, he like rips a guy's heart out of his chest, but that's fine. I loved it, and like Indiana Jones gets like hypnotized at the end, sort of, or something.
Yeah.
It rips.
It rips.
The one I've seen the most though is the third one with Sean Connery.
Yeah, I've only seen that one once. I didn't rewatch that one this time.
That one might be the best, I think. Last Crusade, it's very good. And there's only 3 of them. Can you believe they only made 3 movies?
I can't believe they didn't make any more.
Yeah, wow. What?
It's like the Batman movies. Like Tim Burton made those great Batman movies and then no one ever made another one. It seems like such a wasted opportunity.
Wow, how homophobic of you to not talk about the dumb gay Batman movies from the 90s.
They're awful and I don't like them.
I'm so sorry. The Val Kilmer one is incredible. I will stand behind Batman forever. It's a hoot. Speaking of movies that are a hoot and are controversial.
This is not a blockbuster podcast. This is an art house horror podcast. And as such, we will be discussing the film by Michael Winner from 1977, The Sentinel.
It's one of the nicer tree-lined blocks in New York, and only 20 minutes from the center of town. Oh, and just around the corner there's a supermarket and a cleaner's. That's Father Harron in 5A. He's blind. Blind? Well, then what does he look at?
There is danger everywhere. There is evil. Evil everywhere. Turn around, Allison. Look behind you. There is horror. There is darkness.
I think Allison may die.
But watching, waiting, warding off evil, there is hope. The Sentinel.
Before Halloran, there was Father David Spinetti. Before him...
We rarely do this, but we watched this one together at your house.
We did.
We ate baked potatoes and sat on your sofa and watched this beautiful movie.
Yeah.
Both of us have seen this and like this movie. Ivory, your partner, had not seen it and she loved it. My takeaway this time, so I think I have some wisdom now about this movie because I think I've seen it 3 or 4 times now. And I realized after watching it that my experience of this movie is that I like it more in my memory of it than I do while I'm watching it. Because I realized that I only remember the beginning of the movie and the end of the movie and nothing in the middle. And I think that the movie looks so good and so chic and beautiful that I in my memory I like it more because that's what I attach to. How about you?
I think I'm the opposite. I think in my head I'm like, oh yeah, it's got that crazy ending and it's got Beverly D'Angelo like flicking her bean. Like those are all fun things and crazy things, but like I feel like it drags a bit and it's not as good as the movies it's trying to be. And then every single time I watch it, I'm always like, holy fuck, this movie is gorgeous and insane. Honestly, I could just watch her like roaming around that giant apartment in nothing but a slip holding a candle and a knife for like 3 hours.
Yeah. I do love all that. I mean, it looks so cool. It's got a really stacked cast. It's based on a novel by Jeffrey Convitz, and I have a sense, although this isn't confirmed because I haven't read the book, I feel like the novel probably makes more sense because things have more time to be fleshed out. Because that was my feeling about the movie this time. It was like, oh, this is so cool looking. The cast is amazing. There's a lot of really great stuff about it. But on a story level, it's kind of like, what's happening here? Like, does this actually make sense? And that's okay. I mean, it's still like a 4-star movie to me, but it's not like a comp would be like Rosemary's Baby or, like those kinds of movies that I think some of those are a lot better.
It's very made in like a post Rosemary's Baby, post Exorcist world. It is New York City. It is one woman's paranoia and a lot of Catholic nightmares.
Yeah.
All converging together. Before we get into the plot, I have been looking up Jeffrey Convitz, both the writer of the novel and the producer of the film, who is like heavily involved. I've looked up his career to see what he did before and after. His only other horror writing credit is for the 70s Christmas horror film Silent Night, Bloody Night.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't really... I've seen that, but I don't know it that well.
With...
Jessica Walter? No.
Mary Warnoff.
Yeah. Who I love.
But he would then go on to produce a few films in the 90s without writing them. But then he executive produced an A24 movie recently.
Oh, really? Which one?
Under the Silver Lake.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy, indeed.
Yeah.
I can see a through line between these two films.
Yes, yeah.
And it's exciting to me. Like, what a choice.
Yeah.
Also, like, I like the idea of him seeing It Follows and liking it. And also, imagine making It Follows, and then the guy who wrote The Sentinel comes to you and is like, hey, I want to help produce your weird noir movie.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk about the synopsis. So this movie follows Christina Rains as Allison Parker. She's a fashion model in a relationship with Chris Sarandon, whatever his character's name is. He's like a fancy lawyer who gets crooked criminals off. She's a fashion model. We slowly learn that she has replaced his wife. They were having an affair, and the wife got so upset that she took her own life. And but Allison doesn't want to move in with him. She wants freedom. He wants her to marry him, but she's like, no, I want to live my life. So she gets her own apartment in Brooklyn, which is in a beautiful brownstone that has been cut into different apartments. And once she moves in, weird stuff starts to happen. She has all kinds of crazy neighbors, including Sylvia Miles and Beverly D'Angelo as a May to December aged lesbian couple who are also ballerinas. Who else is there? Ava Gardner is the real estate agent. Burgess Meredith is a weird old homosexual who lives in the building with his cat and bird. So it's just like full of weird people, and she is getting paranoid that weird things are happening, and there's a blind priest on the top floor that's connected to all of this, and it's sort of like a supernatural mystery that all comes to a head. I feel like I lost my train of thought, but is it an okay description?
It's pretty okay description. Something's going on. Something pointedly Catholic is going on. I mean, the tagline for the movie kind of spoils the like twist ending a little bit. Which is, there must always be a guardian at the gate from hell. She was beautiful. She was young. She was the next. The Sentinel. Yeah. Also, if you've seen the Joe Dante movie, The Burbs, it also tells you what the plot of this movie is.
Yeah, someone mentioned to me, like, oh my god, The Burbs mentions this movie. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't remember that. Yeah, but that's the secret twist, right? So, like, this building is at the gates of hell. There always has to be a sentinel, which is, like, placed there by the Catholic Church, and when one sentinel dies, someone replaces them, so there's a plot to make her the new sentinel, and the other neighbors are all ghosts who are trying to convince her to kill herself so that she will go to hell and not be the sentinel.
Pretty classic stuff. This is like Sunday school.
Yeah.
But the cast is outrageously fucking stacked. So Christina Rains, who, if listeners don't know, this is like her biggest role probably. She was also in Nashville, the Robert Altman movie, which is incredible, and she's incredible in it. She didn't do much after this, which is a fucking crime. Chris Sarandon from Fright Night is her boyfriend, who may or may not have killed his wife. And then we get a murderer's row of old Hollywood stars and up and coming new Hollywood stars that I guess they had a week off of The Dating Game and Hollywood Squares and were able to come do this. So we get Martin Balsam, John Carradine, Jose Ferrer, Ava Gardner, Arthur Kennedy, Burgess Meredith, Sylvia Miles, Eli Wallach, Christopher Walken, Jerry Orbach, Beverly D'Angelo, William Hickey, Jeff Goldblum, Tom Berenger, and Richard Dreyfuss.
Richard Dreyfuss?
Yeah.
My God, I don't remember that.
He had a small part, walking on the street.
It is really stacked.
It is fucking... It's to the point... two actors that everyone has an impression of are both in this movie. Goldblum and Walken. And Goldblum is dubbed.
Yeah. But part of my point about how I don't remember a lot of this movie is I didn't even remember that Chris Sarandon was in this. And he's the lead role. Basically,
he is billed above Christina Raines for some fucking reason. I don't think he was a household name. This is pre-Princess Bride.
I remember everything up until her meeting the neighbors at that party. I don't remember anything that happens after that, really. And then I remember the end.
Yes, the neighbors host a birthday party for a cat that they all attend together. Black and white cake, black and white cat. It is.
Which the movie treats as ridiculous, but I live in LA. I go to a dog birthday party 3 times a year. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I know plenty of people who have birthday parties for their cats. And I know plenty of people who there's a still in this movie of the cat wearing a little party hat. And with streamers around it that I know people post all the time to be like, it's my cat's birthday today. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah. I would do anything to get an invite to that party.
No.
I love old weird people.
First of all, I would do anything to live in this apartment. Ghosts or not.
Beautiful. So the apartment, it does say it's $400 a month. I did look up the conversion. That's about $2,000 a month now, which would be insanely cheap for that apartment in Brooklyn Heights. That building is still there, by the way. It's not covered in ivy anymore, but it is in Brooklyn Heights on the waterfront. $400 a month for that is incredible.
That's a fucking steal.
Too good to be true, you might say.
Well, Ava Gardner first is the rent is $500. And she's like, wow, $500 is a lot. No, $400 isn't a lot at all.
Yeah.
But it's also it's a 2-story apartment.
Yeah.
She has an upstairs.
Yeah.
And also the doors are fucking massive. It's also pre-furnished. Which is great when Burgess Meredith comes in and says, I love your taste. You must decorate my apartment.
I know, that doesn't make any sense. It feels like that should have been noted by an executive at some point, because it just doesn't. He's like, you lived in this building forever. Of course you've seen the inside of this building. I wonder, I didn't look this up. I wonder if the interiors are the actual interiors of that building, because brownstones are actually quite small inside in real life.
It's giving soundstage.
Yeah, it is.
That's the vibe that I was getting from it, especially with those massive doors, the massive pocket doors. Oh, they're so fucking beautiful.
They're really beautiful.
A lot happens in this movie. Some would say too much to cram into one 2-hour-long movie. Not even two.
Some would say
pretty light on its feet.
Yeah.
We also get subplots about Christina Raines' history of mental illness and suicide attempts. We also get a sinister cabal of Catholic priests. We also get a heist at the Archdiocese in New York City, which is glossed over pretty quickly, despite the fact that this movie has a fucking heist in it.
Yeah.
We also get a glimpse into the sexual trauma at the hands of her father, who liked to throw orgies.
Yeah. How great are those flashbacks, by the way?
Those are so well done, first of all. And second of all, her dad is old and decrepit on his deathbed and old and decrepit in the flashbacks while he's having threesomes with large women eating cake. Yeah. It's something else. She's then, like, chased through the, like... after she has this weird birthday party experience, she's then walked back through the rest of the brownstone by Ava Gardner to be like, look, all of these rooms, they are empty. No one else lives here, and all of the other apartments are now cobwebby and empty. And when she goes back and during the middle of the night, because she's hearing things, she's then chased around by the nude ghost of her father, who she then stabs to death.
The scariest part of the movie, I think.
Oh, it's genuinely upsetting. We watched this on the Scream Factory Blu-ray that came out probably 10 years ago at this point, which is very well restored and looks great. But I will say it's a little too bright in that scene because the dad ghost walks across the room and then just stands in a corner.
Yeah.
And you can see him just standing in that corner. I saw it on 35mm at the New Beverly last year, which was awesome. And in that scene, he, like, walks across the room and, like, disappears into black.
Oh.
And
like
it's a lot more
issue.
effective.
Interesting. I did love the reveal that all the neighbors were ghosts the whole time. It comes quite early in the movie, actually, and it does have the vibes of, like, Large Marge died 25 years ago. You know, it's like so old-fashioned and Scooby-Doo-ish that I loved that.
I mean, I love an old-fashioned and Scooby-Doo-ish twist as well.
Absolutely.
So there's a few elements of this movie we should talk about. And first, we should mention the director, Michael Winner.
Yeah.
He's not most famous for having directed The Sentinel. He's
Crazy.
most famous for making action movies for Canon in the 80s, particularly one starring good old Charles Bronson. He made the Death Wish films.
Which I've never seen, but Jeff Goldblum is in the first one, I think, because I have seen one scene of it. I turned on television and it was on cable, and I know it was cable because the scene I saw is Jeff Goldblum sexually assaulting a woman, and then I looked it up and it's like, oh, it's Death Wish.
That sounds like Death Wish.
Yeah.
I think that's the first Death Wish.
Yeah, it was very 70s seeming.
Yeah, he directed the first 3 Death Wish movies. And then just a myriad of other Charles Bronson movies. And, like, pretty, like, cheap and pulpy remakes in the 80s and late 70s that are not very, very well regarded. He is also a British man and very much a right-wing individual.
Yeah.
And that brings us into the other big 2 elements of the end of this movie that are going to be interesting to talk about.
Yeah. Well,
Do you want to talk about the Catholic angle first?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this movie, unlike Rosemary's Baby or The Exorcist, is very pro-Catholic.
Weirdly.
Yeah, it's a very conservative movie because ultimately only a priest can save the day, and, you know, one person has to martyr themselves to keep the gates of hell closed. So that's a very Catholic booster kind of point of view.
Yeah, the Catholic priest comes in to save the day and offer redemption, but also, like, so on, like, a very literal reading of the ending, it's very pro-Catholic, and the only way to save us from hell and damnation is to fall at our feet and do whatever we can for the Catholic Church to let them do whatever to keep hell away from us. But also, like, they set her up with his apartment.
Yeah.
Like, they chose her
It's true.
to do this. They, like, orchestrated this all to, like, all of the horrors that this woman goes through this movie are inflicted upon her. Primarily by the Catholic Church using these ghosts, essentially. And just to make sure that she's the next Sentinel. And spoiler alert, she is. The movie ends with her becoming a nun who is now blind.
Yeah.
And then just sitting in a window all day long.
Killer closing image.
Killer image.
The Catholic Church loves to torture people, though. I mean, it's part of their doctrine, right? Like self-flagellation and punishment, and it's very like what's that crazy Mel Gibson movie about Jesus? Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a good Scorsese one, not the bad Mel Gibson one.
Passion of the Christ. It's very Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, very torture porn Catholicism,
martyrdom.
Yeah, it's so funky in this movie because you keep getting like glimpses of the priest like following her in the streets, or like being secretive and lying, and he's like structured as the villain the whole movie, and then comes in at the end and is like, nope, you're gonna do what we want and it's gonna be good, I guess. But also it's not like hell's gonna spill over. It's just that apartment.
Yeah.
Just a couple ghosts in that apartment. This isn't a Lucio Fulci movie where everyone in New York is going to turn into a zombie and like...
Well, do we know that, though? Because at the end... we should, I guess, talk about the last scene, which is that hell does start spilling over. There's an unfortunate, I think, choice where, you know, the demons and the denizens of hell are played by, like, burn victims and little people and amputees. And it's really awkward.
It's really unfortunate. And they're not... Listen... They're not casting these people and then putting them in prosthetics and like devil horns and things like that. They're just like picking them up off the street and sticking them in there wearing whatever.
And they're not actors either. So these people their performances are really awkward, and they're like, I don't know how to be here in this scene because I'm not an actor and I'm just here to be spooky with my burns or whatever. And it just plays really awkward, and
it's really unfortunate. But then you have like Burgess Meredith like and Chris Sarandon like dressed up in some makeup and stuff like that, hamming it up surrounded by them, and it makes it weirder.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think the naked old man painted white, you know, her father's ghost is more frightening than just seeing burn victims or amputees. They could have done something more creative, and it just plays. It's a bit of a bummer.
And it's also like this movie was made like 40 years after the Todd Browning movie Freaks, which is casting, you know, people who like are like amputees and who like work as sideshow performers and things like that, and presenting them in a positive light and being the heroes of the movie. And that movie was so controversial, and it was decried as being both like horrible to watch and like, how dare you paint these people in a good light, and other people being like, you're not painting them in a good light, you're exploiting them. And that movie was banned and not shown forever. And then we get the Sentinel.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite.
Yeah. It also just doesn't feel like aesthetically correct as a choice. It doesn't feel like a part of this movie. It feels odd.
No, it really doesn't. It feels like a very last minute. It almost feels like they ran out of money.
It does. You're right. It feels like a reshoot or something like that. Yeah, like
it feels like they had this big plan for this big ending where they were gonna like have all of these creatures come out, and then Universal Pictures was like, "We got no creature budget. What are you gonna do?" And then Michael Winner's like, "I got a fucking idea. We'll go to the carnival. We'll go to the hospital." And it's like, no, my man, please, for the love of God. You don't need these. You don't need these characters.
I just remember why I brought up the ending, which was because it could. I mean, I thought that it was meant to say that if this building was the gates of hell, and if it didn't have a sentinel, that like the hordes of hell would spill forth and take over New York that was my understanding, but
it's possible. I will say this movie makes like a banging like connective tissue if you ever want to do a triple feature of Rosemary's Baby and then end with like a Lucio Fulci movie like The Beyond or City of the Living Dead, and you're like, what goes in between? Literally the Sentinel.
Absolutely.
Will get you from point A to point B.
The end of this reminded me very much of the end of The Beyond, which is one of my favorite movie endings of all time. Yeah. Just so beautiful. I guess because of the white contact lenses and the beautiful woman.
And they use the exact same white contact lenses in this movie.
Yeah.
So fucking good. Yeah, but like, I don't know. It's really weird and hard for me to parse out the, like, pro-Catholicism of this movie when the entire film, it feels like Catholicism is the villain.
It does, until the end.
And so I think the moral of the story is Catholicism is the villain, all in all, and no matter what they ask of you, don't fucking do it. So part of the reason why Christina Rains' character is chosen within the movie's internal logic is that because she has had a history of mental illness and a history of attempts on her own life, according to the Catholic Church, she's already damned to hell.
Yeah.
She's already damned to hell for attempting suicide. And
That's
so,
crazy.
by taking the role of the Sentinel, by sacrificing the rest of her life to be a mute, blind nun who just doesn't move from one room for the rest of her existence and keeping back the gates of hell, she'll get into heaven, potentially?
Yeah.
Or at least not go to hell? It's very weird. Also, it is revealed at the end of the movie that Chris Sarandon did hire someone to kill his wife.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yes, he did hire a PI to kill his wife. The PI also gets murdered in the middle of the movie as well. And when Chris Sarandon uncovers this plot to turn his girlfriend into the Sentinel, he goes and tries to kill John Carradine, the current Sentinel, which seems like a weird choice, because if he's dead, then they have to use your girlfriend.
Right, then that just makes the process faster.
Yeah, and then Chris Sarandon is murdered by the other priest who's supposed to be the, like, last-minute good guy, and he shows up as a ghost trying to seduce Christina Rains at one point, and tells her, I'm a ghost! I was killed because I was trying to kill the other priest, and the good priest killed me. And then the good priest is the one who delivers the speech about, because you tried to take your life, you are damned to hell. This is your only salvation. But my man, you just murdered a man in cold blood.
Yeah.
You're damned to hell too, you piece of fucking shit.
I have a question, and maybe I ought not press at these things too hard, but, like, why does the Sentinel have to be blind? Like, if you want someone to sit and watch the gates of hell, don't you want them to watch? And I know that the answer is, like, it looks cool, it's a cool image, but it doesn't make sense. I don't know if it
Justice
does.
is blind or something like that. It's just, like, I'm just imagining, like, an Abbott and Costello fashion, like, these demons, like, tiptoeing,
Right.
with their hands up, sneaking behind John Carradine, waiting, see if they made a sound, and then continuing.
It doesn't seem like the best person to be a professional watcher.
Yeah, I feel like there could have been a, like, late 90s, early 2000s post, like, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, post Supernatural, like, revamp of the Sentinel, where, like, one woman has to stand against the forces of evil. She is the Sentinel. Like Warrior Nun on Netflix or something like that, where, like, she has to give up her life, and then she, like, becomes the Sentinel, and then she's gotta, like, beat back the denizens of hell. And, like, that's, like, pro-Catholic action horror in a way that, like, sure, fine, whatever, and then sets you up for franchise potential. But, like, nope, she's just blind and mute and sits there. You weren't thinking like Joss Whedon, Michael Winter.
We actually referenced this in season 4 of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. We make Roz a Sentinel, and this movie doesn't have this happen because the Sentinel's not the focus of the movie for most of the movie. They're just there, but it's like a kind of a trap narratively to make that choice with your characters. And the same thing happened on the Amazon show Wheel of Time, which I watched season 1 of, where there's all these people that, like, have to guard this thing for the whole season. And it's like, now these people can't leave this location, and you have characters that are literally just watching something. Mm-hmm. It's like kind of a trap narratively. Yeah. Which I learned the hard way. If I'm a showrunner someday, I'll never do that. Do you know what else I won't do, incidentally? So on every supernatural show, like Buffy or True Blood or whatever it is, eventually they introduce a secret paramilitary group that fights supernatural things, and I hate it every time, and I will never do it.
It never works. They also do it in Supernatural, and
I'm
it
sure.
never works. And
Yeah.
they just write it off after a while.
Yeah.
They do it on the librarians, and they just
Mm-hmm.
write it off after a while. Because as soon as you do that, you write yourself into a corner. Because
Totally.
the only show that's ever been able to do that is the X-Files, because the X-Files is already doing that.
Yeah.
That's
It's
what
like
the
if the
X-Files
show is about that, then that's kind of okay because that's the
or
whole
like
show.
Fringe.
Yeah.
Like that's the point of the show. As soon as you introduce that into something where they're like quote unquote cowboy freelancer heroes like Supernatural or Buffy or something like that, then you have not them versus monsters, but them versus like the United States government.
Yeah.
And that's a much larger entity to beat back, and now you have like two bifurcated villains. Unless you want the entire point of your show to be like Nightbreed or something,
Yeah.
or like ragtag heroes and the denizens of hell have to team up together to take down fucking George Bush. I want to watch that, but that's a different show.
Totally. I also don't like it when there's an episode where characters are stuck in a dream and the whole episode is like avant-garde and abstract like that. I find a bummer. I don't know.
That's
my taste.
that's very like it's. I feel like it's usually done in animation more than live action. I feel like you're specifically talking the season 4 conclusion of Buffy.
Yes. We also did it on Sabrina though. In season 1, there's like a body bot episode where the Spellmans are trapped in their dreams and there's a demon. I just don't like it.
I like that stuff. I just don't like it when shows do it more than once, because both Gravity Falls and the Harley Quinn animated show are guilty of that, which, you know, I love both of those shows very dearly. And they got away with, I think the Harley Quinn show did it 3 times. They got away with it on the 3rd time because they did something interesting with it, because they then went into like Bruce Wayne's head.
Yeah.
And he's like just trapped in a cycle of abuse. The only thing that's in his head is like the moment his parents are killed on a loop. And it's very fucked up and very fun.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's not good writing. You know what else I would do if I was a showrunner or directing a horror movie like this? Simply not cast disabled individuals as monsters.
demons.
Yeah. I just simply wouldn't.
Yeah. I simply would not. Anything else to say about the Sentinel?
Other than it's one big moment at the end, I think it's a fucking bop. I think you should go to your local video store and pick it up and put it on, either with Rosemary's Baby or with Eyes of Laura Mars or with a Lucio Fulci movie or with Nashville or with Fright Night or with any Jeff Goldblum movie. I don't know. I think it's super fucking fun. It would also pair really well with another Merton Balsam, Christopher Walken joint, the Anderson tapes, the Sidney Lumet film.
Oh, yeah.
Also New Yorker in the same time, and also features real twinky Christopher Walken, and it's...
I did not know that Christopher Walken was so hot in the 70s.
He was so hot in the 70s. Oh my god, Bicon.
When you said any Jeff Goldblum movie, the one that I immediately thought of course, was Earth Girls Are Easy, which is one of my favorite movies. And when I met Jeff Goldblum once in the 2000s, and I was like, and I geeked out, and I was like, oh my god, I'm the world's biggest Earth Girls Are Easy fan. And he was like, whoa, I don't get that one very often. He's used to hearing like Jurassic Park, I'm sure.
Oh, you just you wait. When I meet him, I'm going to talk about how much I love Vibes.
Vibes is the other one that I love, because I love Cyndi Lauper. She's like my favorite woman who ever lived.
And I love A Hole in My Heart that goes all the way to China.
I know.
What a song.
I've seen her perform many times, and she's only sang that once, and I freaked out.
It's not a hit. It's fucking underrated.
It should have been, though. It's so good.
What a bop. Now, should we pivot to our favorite game?
Yeah.
Have they seen it?
Yes, let's do it. Well, Chris Sarandon is the star of this. He was famously married to Susan Sarandon. Do you think Susan Sarandon saw the Sentinel? I don't know when they were married. I have no idea. I don't know anything about them.
I think that has a lot of bearing on this, so let me check super fucking fast.
While you Google that, do you get the sense that I get that he's mean? He seems like a mean person to me. And I don't know if it's just the way he looks. But
always plays mean.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's his whole thing. I've heard Nothing. But he always goes to like fan conventions. I mean, he was also in Fright Night and Princess Bride.
Love him in Fright Night.
He's oh my god, he's so fucking hot in Fright Night.
Yeah.
And he always sits down for interviews for those movies whenever they get new releases. He'll always like do a new interview for Fright Night or something. So there's I think he's at least like genial.
Okay.
He seems like a nice guy. I mean, she left him for Tim Robbins though. They divorced in 1979, so I definitely think she's seen it.
Okay.
I
She was at
definitely
the
think
premiere,
Susan
I'm
Sarandon
sure.
saw it at the premiere. I don't think she likes it.
No. She's not like a very I love Susan Sarandon. And but I get the sense that she doesn't have like the world's best sense of humor. Like she eventually embraced Rocky Horror Picture Show, but for a long time she was like really embarrassed and eye-rolly about it, and she just seems like a very serious woman.
She seems like she has really good taste in film and stuff like that, but I also feel like she's very, very, very politically active, and I feel like she and Michael Winner would not get along.
Oh,
like,
no,
remotely. Like, they would, like, go to blows very quickly. And I feel if you asked her about the Sentinel, her only memory would be, my ex-husband is in it, and the ending is super fucked up and mean. And I feel like those are the only, like, I feel like the only thing she remembers is the exact thing that we just talked about, which sucks the most about it. And she would just be like, fuck that movie for that. And
I think you're right.
I couldn't, listen, I love that movie, but I would agree with her.
Yeah.
This movie's director went on to make so many big action movies for Canon Films. I assume Golan Globus, Menachem Golan and them saw this film. But what I want to know is, do you think that the star of a million fucking Michael Winner movies, Charles Bronson, ever saw The Sentinel?
No, because I don't... because my instinct said, this is what my brain said when you brought up his name. I was like, Charles Bronson doesn't watch movies about women.
Oh my god.
Who knows if that's true? I can't just like slander someone that I know literally nothing about, but that was my instinct. Do you think... So this movie has Burgess Meredith in it. He's like an old queen from a bygone era. He's very Hollywood Squares coded. I thought of another Hollywood Squares queen. Do you think that Charles Nelson Riley ever saw The Sentinel?
That is not the person I thought you were going to say.
You thought I was going to say Paul Lynde.
I thought you were going to say Paul Lynde.
But
I was going to say a
zigged
million
when you thought.
times that Paul Lynde has definitely seen this. Charles Nelson Riley,
He's the poor man's Paul Lynde, kind of. He kind of replaced Paul Lynde.
I'm going to say no.
Fair.
My speculation is no. What are you thinking?
I think no. But I do think Paul Lynde might have seen this.
I think Paul Lynde has definitely seen this. I mean, you don't host a Halloween special with Kiss if you haven't seen The Sentinel. Come on.
Good point. Excellent
Good point. So again, speaking about Burgess Meredith, an absolute delight. I know Burgess Meredith not from Rocky, but from the Batman show where he played the Penguin back in the 60s.
Burgess Meredith is in Rocky?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I had no idea. I've never seen Rocky. That seems like so weird.
That's like what most people know him from. He's Rocky's like trainer. He's like, come on, Rock.
What? That's Burgess Meredith? I thought that was some straight person.
That's Burgess Meredith.
Oh my god, how
Very
strange.
Old. Yeah. But what I want to know is, do you think Adam West ever saw The Sentinel?
I love Adam West because of Drop Dead Gorgeous, where he plays himself.
Yeah.
No. I feel like I have a sense that the 70s might have been a tough time for Adam West for some reason.
Couldn't afford a movie ticket?
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like not a good time for him. Based on absolutely nothing except for my imagination. So I feel like he wasn't going to see a lot of Hollywood movies.
I also feel like had he seen this in the theaters, he would have seen like that stat cast and been like, "There wasn't room for me."
He's like, "I'm available. I can be a ghost.
I could be I could be a ghost. I could be weird. I could be gay. Like, what do you need? I could be a lesbian. Like, what do you want? What do you want? One final one before we wrap up. So this is a very early performance by Jeff Goldblum. He is unfortunately dubbed, which is a bummer.
So strange.
So strange. It's very funny when they do that to actors that we now like very vividly know their voices, like when they dub Udo Kier in Suspiria, and you're like, I'm pretty sure that's not his voice. Jeff Goldblum, of course, is in theaters right now in Asteroid City, playing an alien, or playing an actor playing an alien. And has been in like umpteen Wes Anderson movies. So my question is, do you think Wes Anderson has seen The Sentinel?
I think he would like this movie.
I think he would love this movie.
Yeah, I think he has. I think he's probably watches a lot of movies. I don't see him as much of a horror person, but I think this is one he would really like a lot.
I know he's a big fan of the Michael Mann movie Manhunter.
Mm-hmm.
And so this feels like the kind of movie that he and Owen Wilson would have watched, like smoking weed in their college dorm on VHS or something.
Absolutely. When those terrible AI things were going around, there was one that was like Wes Anderson directing The Shining, and it was terrible because it was AI. But I was like, but
also it's Kubrick. It already looks like Wes Anderson.
Yeah, it's already like very perfectly centered shots and all that. But I did think like, ooh, I would love a Wes Anderson horror movie. Not that he would ever make one, but he would make a really great one, I think.
Make a fucking banger of a horror movie. There was that SNL sketch from a few years ago when they had Edward Norton hosting. That was like a fake trailer for a Wes Anderson horror movie, where they had Edward Norton playing Owen Wilson.
Oh my god, that's funny.
It was very good. I remember it went around the internet quite a bit when they did. It was basically like, what if Wes Anderson directed The Strangers, like some kind of like home invasion, people in masks kind of horror movie. He'd be great at that. He'd be great at that. But he would also be great at like adapting an Ira Levin novel or something like that.
Yeah, something gothic, something where the tension gets ratcheted up slowly, something like Rosemary's Baby, or even like a period piece gothic thing he'd be great at.
Yeah, like Wes Anderson, just put Maya Hawke in a slip, give her a candle.
That's all we want.
And have her run away from the ghost of Angelica Houston.
Absolutely.
This is all we, as the gay people of these United States, are asking for.
I couldn't want anything more than I want that. That's it for this episode of Bloodhouse. If you liked it, please rate it wherever you listen to podcasts. You can email us at bloodhousepod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram. Drusilla, shout out your socials.
I am on Instagram at Hyde Sister, and I am on Letterboxd. If you look for Drusilla Adeline, you will find me. My website is sisterhydedesign.com. I've got new work up there for the Netflix film They Cloned Tyrone. I am not scabbing for the network, but my art, I took like a year and a half to work on that. Maybe go check it out. It's also all over subways in New York City. So if you are commuting and you see a bunch of heads turning into one bigger head, that is my fault. I did that. I'm so sorry. What about you, Josh? Where do you currently roam the hallways of the internet?
I am at Joshua Conkle everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Next week, I will be broadcasting from the misty, gloomy, beautiful Pacific Northwest. And what will we be discussing?
We are going to keep on walking into an accidental Christopher Walken double feature with Abel Ferrara's 1990s vampire feast for the senses, The Addiction.
Can't wait. Love that movie.